So today I'm going to be giving you guys a tutorial on the Blink app and how to work your new Blink camera system. So I've got the app open, as you can see, and at the top you'll notice home and outside. Home is for pretty much anything that I have under my home I guess section. You can have an outside, maybe you've got outside cameras or something like that, like security cameras, but I've only got the home. So in this example it's just for home. So this is all where all my cameras are. You'll see that I have one labeled carport. This is actually my doorbell. I've got one, I got a camera in my living room, and that one's labeled living room. So the top, we'll start at the top again. We got home, outside, and then we got the plus button. The plus button just adds any extra cameras. If you bought new ones, you would just add whatever it is and then follow the prompts to add it. Pretty simple. We're going to start right here at carport. So this is my doorbell again. So I'll go ahead and click the play button. What will happen is it's going to open up a live feed of what's going on at the doorbell, which is labeled carport. So within here, you can actually kind of see what's going on. You can zoom in, you can move left, move right, and kind of see what's going on there. Just a live feed. You'll see the speaker button in the top right corner. So if I click this, it'll let me hear the audio of what's going on at that camera. You'll notice that continue comes up. It's just asking, do you want to continue the live feed? Just click continue if you're still watching, and you'll be able to continue to hear an audio in the video. At the bottom, you'll see save, so you can save like this footage like as it's happening if you click that save button. You've got the tap to unmute button here. So with this button, it's basically just a mic. So if you click the mic, now everything I'm saying is being sent to that camera. So I'm talking to maybe someone that's in the yard, someone delivering mail, someone that missed me, trying to visit or something. Now the audio is being sent to the camera. I'll click it again. Now the audio has stopped. Then we'll go over to more. If you click that, you can go to settings. So in this device, you got general settings. So just the battery level, the firmware, the button LED on press. So meaning like when somebody clicks that doorbell button, it lights up blue and a ring around the little button comes up just to let them know that they've pushed the button. It gives you your network strength, and it is connected to my sync module, which we'll go over the sync module in just a second. You can rename. I'll go back. We can rename this also if we ever wanted to change the name of it. There was a space behind carport. I'm gonna take that off. So you can rename that, and we'll come back down to motion, which is the next setting. Motion settings are basically anytime someone moves or if there's any kind of activity that goes on, motion detection being on is what allows you to see that and capture that footage on your camera. Motion sensitivity is right underneath that. So this is how sensitive the cameras are. Each camera is going to have a sensor in it, and that sensitivity can be adjusted higher or lower. Obviously, the higher the sensor or the sensitivity, then the more like any little movement can throw off, the camera. If you've got this thing like a camera close to the road, maybe you might want to move that sensitivity number back, because anytime maybe a car drives by, it might want to record that that activity. So you may want to adjust that accordingly. It's going to depend on your your situation. Right up underneath that, you have motion zones. So when we click that, you'll see everything that has a clear picture is what's being considered a zone. So if you click any of these boxes and they go gray, those zones are now zones that won't be recorded or considered when there's motion. So let's just say a bird was flying underneath this gray part on my carport. Well, it wouldn't pick that up and my notification wouldn't go off. Same thing for these on the side. If something were to happen in the backyard, then I could close those off and it wouldn't pick up. But for this example, for my camera system, I actually just want all those there. So yes. Alrighty, so that was your motion zones. Right underneath that is the retrigger time. So this essentially is how long it takes for if an event occurs. So let's just say a mailman comes, drops off your package, and leaves. And then shortly after, something happens, maybe a dog comes and grabs your package. If that happens, now typically that won't happen all in in 10 seconds. What this is that period between when the activity happened and recording the next activity. So there is a 10-second kind of delay in, what happened with the mailman coming, dropping the package off, leaving. The footage stops. Now, typically, and you can set this too, whenever that activity happens, it still records, for an extra however long you set. I think it's up to 30 seconds after that happens, you can record. But then after that 30 seconds has ended and the recording has stopped, there's a 10-second period where it won't re-trigger the sensor to start recording again. If you want it to be, a little bit longer than that, you can go all the way up to a minute. But 10 seconds is usually a good time to leave it at. So 10 seconds after the event has happened, it'll start recording again. We'll back out of this. And now you'll see this little icon. You'll see the guy running, the little motion indicator, and then you see the little 3 dots here. So it just tells you you're on the Wi-Fi, you're connected. You'll see notification snooze, a little bell icon. If you click this on that camera, so we were on our carport camera, you can actually adjust the time in which you want to snooze those notifications. So for instance, I'm detailing cars a lot, or if I'm working out in the yard, I may not want that camera to notify me that I'm moving around, so I might mute it for 30 minutes all the way up to 4 hours. There is a custom setting here, but you actually have to pay for like their Blink subscription to use the custom setting. To me, between 30 and 4 hours is plenty, and you can use that. And then if you want to apply it to every camera you have, just hit apply to all devices, and then you can start the snooze. If you want to cancel that snooze, then all you have to do is go back to that same camera, which was the carport we used. We'll click that bell. We'll click the bell again, and we'll end it for either just the carport or all devices. We'll just end the snooze for all devices, and that goes away. So we go back to that button again. That was our snooze notification deal there. You have a motion detection. So as long as this is blue, anytime something happens, it'll record. Now, when you first set up this camera, there's going to be a picture that automatically goes. So for instance, my carport camera, I set it up inside, and when you do that, it snaps a picture at some point during that installation, and that's what you see as your thumbnail labeled carport or living room. If you want to refresh that picture, if it bothers you, then click the 3 dots and then go to refresh thumbnail, and you would just click that. It would say, okay, refreshing thumbnail, and basically it's going to shoot another picture, and there's my updated picture. You can do the same thing for every camera. I know sometimes that bugs people to see an old picture of them holding the camera in their face while they're setting it up, or some random picture. So you can always refresh that. And then again, if you go down to the bottom, device settings, it's the same. The same screen we were on, where we were adjusting we looked at the firmware and that it was connected. We looked at motion settings, the zones. Underneath that, you have video and photo settings, so you can go in here. This is again how long each clip. We talked about adjusting how long each clip was after that motion took place. You can do 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You can go all the way down to 5 seconds. I left mine at 20 because that's just where I like it. I'll leave it there. Video quality, you can adjust this. Now, what I will say on video quality is that the better the video quality, the more internet it'll pull. Uploading speed will be take a little bit longer, and it may drain your batteries a little bit more. You've got saver at the bottom, which obviously it does okay picture quality, but it just it does go down on the quality just to try to save battery life and upload it faster to maybe the cloud or faster to your hard drive or your flash drive. But I leave mine on best because to me, I just want a clear picture, so I leave mine on best. You can end the clip early if motion stops. So, this is so you don't have to keep continually recording after something has happened. It just saves on storage. It saves on the battery. I have mine turned on. You can kind of decide if you want yours to stop sooner or just keep recording that full 20 seconds. So your night vision, I have mine on auto. It's turned on so that way I can see this. Doorbell doesn't have like a light on it, like a floodlight or anything, and so the auto night vision is helpful at night when something happens. You can adjust your IR sensitivity. your photo capture, and your auto thumbnail. You can turn this on. I guess this is a cool update that they added, because this wasn't always like this. But you can turn an auto update thumbnail. So that thumbnail we talked about, this would automatically come on and like snap a picture every so often to just update that picture. But we'll leave it the way it is, because to me that's not a big deal. And then audio settings, so speaker volume. So this is the volume on your camera, your doorbell. You can turn it all the way up. Typically they're pretty loud, so I mean you're gonna have a good ring on your speaker from your cameras, because most of those cameras have speakers, if not all of them, and that's just adjusting the audio on that. So next is your doorbell and chime settings. So you can use a couple different kind of chimes here. So you can use the chime that comes with Blink, which is that first option. You can do maybe a one that's already up, like an existing one. Keep in mind that sometimes you're going to need an adapter for the the power output from the camera to your home system. So that may be something to look into, but this is kind of where you're looking at all your chime settings. Privacy settings. This is really, just like it says, it just restricts video coverage to protect the privacy. So maybe there's an area, if you had one in your room and it covered areas of your bed, or maybe an area where you change, or something like that, you could cut off that zone. So you go in here, let's just say this was a bedroom or something, or you do something more private in this area over here on the left. You can click these dots right here and you can just fill those zones. Those would be called your privacy zones, so it would never record or detect anything that happens in that area. It's not really a common kind of setting that people use, because most of the time if there's a camera somewhere, it's not going to be in like a place where you don't want a camera recording and stuff like that. But again, this is just privacy zone, so you would click and you could move this bar wherever you want and it would never record those zones. I'm gonna stop that though. I'm gonna get rid of this, reset that, and get out of there. You'll see video recording. So as long as that's on, you should be able to record those videos and store them on the flash drive, which we'll go over in just a minute, and then your audio streaming. And then the help is at the bottom. But we'll go back and we'll go over one of our last things here. This is a sync module. So sync module is what allows you to be able to use your cameras locally and store all the footage locally without using the cloud storage. So they'll offer you the cloud storage for however much, a month or a year, but I bypass that by just using the sync module, and it basically houses all the video footage and lets you get live video as well. So right here you'll see the firmware version there and the local storage. When you click this, it actually takes you in to see how much space do I have left on my flash drive. You'll see I have 18%. It's taken about a year, maybe over a year, to get to 18%. And I mean, my cameras are going on and off. So it just goes to show that with the flash drive that I have, it's 128 gigs. It takes a while for that to fill up. And this is just for reference. Like if you've got cameras and you've got a 128, you won't have to worry about it getting full so fast, because it's a lot of space. So that tells you your space. Your local storage here tells you which cameras are feeding into your flash drive in your local storage on your sync module. I have both my cameras here. Yours should show all your cameras there. And then if you're wanting to take the flash drive out of the sync module, you have to safely eject it first, just to protect the integrity of your flash drive. You don't want it to get corrupted. You don't want it to get damaged. So make sure you come to the screen and safely eject here. Click that button, and then you can pull it out. We'll go back, and if you were to change Wi-Fi on the sync module, you would just go in here and you would change the Wi-Fi there. So last thing is, or one of the last things is the disarmed and armed button. So when you're at home, you want this turned to armed or disarmed, because most of the time you don't want to get notifications while you're working or walking through the house, stuff like that. You can disarm this and you'll notice that the little guy running in blue goes away. That means you won't get those notifications while you're home. But when you leave, you just have to make sure that you go armed, and then your blue guy comes back, and all the motion sense detecting is back on. I usually don't ever disarm because I will be quick to forget to arm it when I leave. It's something that if you disarm, you have to be good at reminding yourself, okay, when I leave the house, I want this armed. You never want to be caught in a situation where you forgot to arm your camera system and something took place while you were gone. That's the reason why I don't usually use the armed or disarmed. I just go in and I will mute notifications if I'm working outside or if I'm passing my cameras. I'll just mute them for 30 minutes to 4 hours, and then once that's over, they'll start recording again. It works best for me, but you can kind of decide if you want to disarm, arm, or if you want to do the settings that I do. So at the bottom again was home, and then we got clips. So this is where all your clips are going to store. This is my local storage. So right here at the bottom, you see local storage. This is all my local clips. It tells you which cameras they come from, living room, carport, and it tells you the date and time. If you were to click local storage, it would take you also to cloud storage. I'm not paying for cloud, so you'll never see any cloud storages on cloud storage if you don't pay for cloud. I only use the sync module and the flash drive, and that works perfect for me. So if you come on here on clips and you don't see any clips of any events that took place and you're freaking out, make sure that you are seeing local storage, not cloud storage. Oops. Because cloud storage, again, if you pay for it, you'll see it. If you don't pay for cloud storage, you will see nothing. But make sure you go to local storage. And this is everything that's housed on your flash drive that's put into your sync module. So that is this screen. And settings is pretty much what we've kind of already went over. Aside from your account, you can go into device. You can change small things with the cameras. You can adjust the name of the system. You can name it, your home, anything like that. Scheduling is cool because you can adjust the schedule for when you want certain events to take place. You can just go through here and click certain days and click the add button, and you can add, record from this time to that time. You can customize everything there. So really cool there. And auto delete is the last thing. For anybody that is using cloud storage, it may be beneficial for you because you pay for the more cloud storage you use. And so if you're at auto delete after 60 days, you're going to be paying a lot of storage for that, especially if you're constantly going in and out. Every event that records is being uploaded to the cloud. So if you're at 60 days, that's a lot of storage. So you want to go in and you want to come down to 3 days, and that way every 3 days it auto deletes, so you don't need a ton of storage on cloud and you won't be paying as much. Aside from that, that is pretty much a crash course on your Blink system. I hope this helped you. Hopefully I answered every question that there is to answer. If you can think of anything else, you can shoot me an email. You can comment on this video. This is all member page only, so this is all for the gold members. And if you're watching this, then someone else with a gold membership is also watching it, so you can leave a comment. You guys can talk amongst yourselves, and I will be looking to see if I can't answer any more questions that you might have. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.